Ulefone is a recognizable brand, and today I'm doing a review of Ulefone Power. Quite an interesting name for the phone, Power. But let's see what's inside the box. Inside the box we get a wall charger, OTG cable, headphones, standard micro USB cable for synchronization and charging, a user manual, and we get a silicone gel case with screen protector. Pretty rich and pretty nice. I hope that other manufacturer will follow this kind of packaging. Ulefone provided a wall charger with fast charging technology, and to charge the phone to full 100% capacity you will need around 100 minutes, 2 hours at the max, and it is really fast considering the phone battery size. Ulefone Power is quite packed with specifications. From the build quality side, it have a metal trim all around. The back side is totally made of plastic, and it is glossy plastic, so it is a fingerprint magnet. I personally don't like that, but 100 people, 100 thinkings, everyone have a different view. The major sell point of this phone is an enormous battery. Its capacity is 6050 mAh, and it is advertised as Sony battery, so it should be a high quality unit. But let's turn around on detailed phone specifications for the beginning. It is a dual SIM, dual standby phone. It supports 2 micro SIM cards, or you can put a micro SIM card and micro SD card to expand the phone memory, but in that case you lose one SIM tray slot. Screen is 5.5 inches with resolution of 1920 by 1080. It is a LTPS unit. Chipset is MediaTek MTK 6753 with graphic Mali T720. Power is running Android 5.1, but manufacturer promised update to 6.0. 3 GB of RAM will ensure a smooth multitasking with 16 GB of ROM, and like I said before, it is expandable with micro SD card. On the front side of the phone there is a huge 5.5 inch screen, and like I said before, it is a full HD LTPS unit, and it comes with pre-applied screen protector from the manufacturer, and you get also one more in the packaging. We have a front-facing camera. It is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and a bit on the right there is a in-call speakerphone grill. Also between this part here there is a LED notification light. Also we have a proximity sensor and ambient light sensor. Just under the screen there are 3 capacitive touch buttons. The middle one have a really nice circular design. Other 2 are nearly invisible. Sometimes in the dark you can see tiny dots which are helpful in the dark, so you know that the buttons are there, but still the buttons should have a more visible animation. On the bottom we can see a nice metal trim with antenna cutouts. Also there is a micro USB jack for synchronization and charging. Also on the right we have a microphone. On the top side there is a 3.5mm input jack for audio, and a bit on the right there is an infrared port. Basically you can use this phone as a remote control for any device. I will show you that later in the review. Right hand side is filled with buttons. We have a circular button similar to Sony Z series. It's used for camera. On the top of that there is a power on off sleep and wake button, and on top of that there is volume controls. On the left hand side there is just a beautiful metal trim, and on the top of the phone there is a SIM tray slot. I will show you that now. SIM tray can take 2 micro SIM cards, or you can sacrifice one slot for one micro SD card to expand storage. Backside of the phone is totally made of plastic. It is a glossy finish, fingerprint magnet, and I personally don't like it. I hated always this kind of backplates. I hated it on Samsung phones, on every other phone, and I will hate it on this one. They shouldn't choose this kind of design, especially because the phone have a capacity to be a good seller, and from my point of view this is a minus. Top part of backside is filled with 13 megapixel Sony sensor camera. It is a EMX214 sensor. It is pretty decent. You will see a camera samples later. And a bit of the left there is a dual LED flashlight. It is not a dual tone, it is just a dual flash. And a bit under it is a fingerprint sensor. On the bottom part we have a speakerphone grill. The speakerphone is really nice and loud, it is clear, and on maximum volume levels there is no distortion at all. And now let's take a look on the display. Unit itself is not bad, but it is not the best either. I've seen better displays in cheaper phones, like my recently reviewed Cubot Note S. Manufacturer decided to left off an option to manually adjust the brightness of the screen. I will show you there is no that option in the settings. You can just turn on or off automatic brightness. When there are a lot of black colors on the screen and the default launcher have a lot of them, you can see a soft backlight bleeding from the black. I personally don't like that, and especially if you consider that this phone is just under $200. Current price is just a bit under $200, I think around 180. I will show you now outdoor performance. Outdoor screen performance is satisfying from my point of view. As the phone doesn't offer manual brightness controls, I was unable to set it to the maximum, but I guess the sensor itself did that. Overall, pretty decent, satisfying. Android 5.1 performs really well. It's smooth, it works like it should. There is no bloatware at all. That is positive side. Negative side is that I personally don't like the style of this launcher, but you can change it really easy, so that's not a real minus. There are a few interesting features integrated, but first I will show you about section. Also, I want to note that when I got the phone and turned it on first time, I got an update, and that is a really nice thing. I really love when manufacturer is updating their phones. That's a huge plus from my side. In the settings you can find gesture unlock. Here you can set standard gesture options like double click to wake, slide up to unlock, and others, but mostly, and the one that is my favorite, is double click to wake. The phone features an infrared port, which gives you opportunity to use your phone as remote control for any device at your home. For that purpose you need to install an application from the store. You can use any application which is related with infrared, so in this case I'm using this one. I like it from before. It shows a lot of flexibility with different devices. In my case, I'm using a TV with streaming device. Those are two different devices. So TV is Toshiba and setup box is Amino. and I will demonstrate you how it works. I need to use the two remotes. With one I'm changing TV volume, and with another one I'm changing the channels on setup box. The first I will demonstrate you changing a volume. Here you can see it works. I can also access a menu, input, and now I am changing to setup box. Here you can see I can change channels, and it performs really well. The distance is around 5 or 6 meters, maybe even more. That's the maximum I can test in my room. Overall, really neat feature, and every phone need to have this from my perspective, because it is really awesome. I will show you a fingerprint sensor performance. It works like on many other phones. You just put the finger on the back and it should unlock. From my experience, it isn't as good on like Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. It works 7 from 10 times, and it is good, but not the best I tested. Overall, I will give it a 7 from 10. You see, just from third time it unlocked. Sometimes it can get annoying. Maybe just my fingers get wet and the sensor can't recognize the pattern. I don't know why. Sometimes it works really good, and sometimes it's just mediocre. Geekbench 3 results are 623 for single core score and 2811 for multi-core score. Also, I did a battery test, and it is really impressive. It managed to get a 10 hours and 41 minutes. I'll cancel the test on 3% of battery, but this is what you get. And battery score is 4074. Antutu benchmark results are 38,242, and they are pretty decent. Here you can see a detailed hardware specification. Let's turn around on gaming performance. Gaming performance is mediocre, and keep in mind that this device doesn't have a Helio 10 chipset. For this amount of money you can get a device with Helio 10, but still you can get a battery of this size, and it's a mixed bag of emotions. You lose in one part but you win in other one. And now let's see a camera performance. I will include still samples and video samples from both front-facing and back-facing camera. Ulefone power front-facing camera test. There is no need to say too much about a front-facing camera, you can judge by yourself. To be honest, I think that manufacturer need to improve a camera performance. It have a really good sensor, but it's just the pictures are too plain. There is no love in them. Yes, maybe you will say don't speak a crap, but you can see that pictures are just mediocre. They aren't good like Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 or Meizu Metal. I don't know why. The sensor have a potential, but still it's just mediocre. I don't know is the chipset reason for that, especially for video files, but who knows. I'm not saying that is bad, like really bad, but I just believe that it could be better. Battery life is part where this phone is the best. It's insanely good. I was getting easily a 2 days of medical usage. I was browsing, chatting, literally using this phone to the maximum, and I was getting at 2 days, like one full day and next full day. It's just brilliant. It is the battery that is the selling point of this phone. If you're searching for a good battery, decent camera, and overall decent phone, and you're not like a gaming guy or you want to just play games or something like that, this is phone for you. In any other way, if you want a camera and gaming, that's not the best in this phone. If we don't look at the back side of this phone, the build quality overall is pretty good. There is no crunching, it feels solid, the metal backplate is really nice, it feels solid in hand, the glossy plastic even helps in grip, you get better grip than usually. Overall, the phone has its advantages and disadvantages, and like I said before, the major selling point was the battery. It's a quality unit battery, it will last long. If my father was using this phone, he can get from it like 2 weeks. Don't laugh. He is using phone just for voice calls and messaging, and not internet messaging, just a usual SMS and usual voice calls. And he used his phone like this, read a message and left it over. He can get easily 2 weeks, trust me, because the battery is really good. I was impressed. The percentage was dropping really hard, and you don't see that every day on Android phone. My advice is, if you want the phone like this with huge battery, just look around for best possible price. On the GearBest, the price at the moment is around $180. Yeah, it's acceptable, but I think it can go better, and it will with time. If you are not in a hurry, wait, will get cheaper and you can get a phone with insane battery, decent overall performance. Also, the voice calls were really good. The in-call speakerphone is really nice and clear. My reception was great, and that counts on Wi-Fi, 3G, LTE. At this point, when I'm looking a phone through my camera screen, I am thinking, well, this phone isn't that bad as maybe I represented it. Maybe I get used too much on metal phones and kinda that stuff. If you want a device like this, just go buy it. You won't make a bad move. It is overall a good phone. It sacrifices in some segment to give you in other. Don't forget a really rich package content. In the package you get a headphones, OTG cable, a silicone case, a pre-applied screen protector and one extra. And other manufacturers can't say the same thing for their packaging. Usually it is really empty. You get a charger and a charging cable. These extra accessories increase the package value overall. As usual, I got this phone from the GearBest. I bought it there. I can't really remember the price at this point, but it was, I think, a little more than $180. I will put the links in the description so you can check it out. If there is any question I missed or you want to know about this phone or anything else, ask me in the question or send email. I will gladly answer. And until next time, see ya!